camera up the top.
Now, he can listen, but we won't hear him just yet. We're thrilled to announce that Councillor Mark Scott, the new councillor for the City of Melbourne, will be joining us live right now. And it is your chance to hear directly from Councillor Scott and ask him any questions you like through their live chat about his vision for the city. Now, Councillor Scott is the Portfolio Head for Tourism and Events and Deputy for Creative and Arts and represents the Council on the Melbourne Arts Trust. Elected for the first time as part of Team Reese, Councillor Scott brings a wealth of experience from managing Queen Victoria Market to owning RIPE.cheese, giving him a real understanding of the challenges faced by small businesses. He's passionate about supporting small businesses, enhancing city safety and cleanliness, tackling mental health challenges, and creating vibrant city events. He also champions inclusivity and diversity, sharing his own journey as a proud gay man. Don't miss this opportunity to engage with Councillor Scott. And as I said, you can ask as many questions as you like through our live chat. Now, Ripe Cheese and Cured is located in the Dairy Hall at Queen Victoria Market. And they're going to be giving away a $50 voucher tonight. So this is how it's going to work. Everyone needs to follow RIPE.cheese on Instagram between now and midnight. And tomorrow morning at 9 a.m, one lucky winner will be picked following, and they will receive a $50 gift voucher. So let's get Scott on right now. Hello, Scott. Councillor Scott, how are you?
Very well, thanks, Rula. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you for joining us live at RPP FM, the KK Factor, the Greek Eurobeat show. I'm so stoked to have you on, and I just want to let the people know how we met.
Yes.
I did see you at ACDC Laneway.
Yes.
We didn't get a chance to speak because I think everyone was so super excited to be part of what was going on there that we didn't even bother to say hello and everything. But I'm pretty sure he may have done a selfie. Pretty sure we could have.
Yes.
And then I saw you. We had that wonderful party up at the QT rooftop.
Yes.
And that was so exciting to be at the rooftop of the QT, and there's Nick Reese and all the, Channel 7, Channel 9, Channel 10, and these beautiful girls dressing glittering things. And we had the DJ, and then we had the barman making all these cocktails for breakfast.
Yes, that's
right. It was quite the morning, wasn't it?
It was a great spot to talk about New Year's Eve because the rooftops around Melbourne are going to literally explode with fireworks and lasers on New Year's Eve. So it was really great to be on one of Melbourne's premier rooftops. The QT is pretty special.
Yes.
I think I might have seen you at Wicked as well. Did you come to the Wicked wardrobe?
No.
Fashion Week?
No, unfortunately, no. I don't know why I wasn't called to that media call. And maybe I was, look, it depends when it was because I did go overseas for 6 weeks. So possibly during that time.
Yes.
But I do love going to the media call-outs from the City of Melbourne, Nick Reese's office. I totally get it. It's so much fun as well, even though we do talk about serious topics. So let's just have that moment and to share to our audience. So New Year's Eve in Melbourne is going to be bigger than it was last year. 27 buildings are participating, and there's going to be this huge laser show. And from what our Lord Mayor Reese said, it doesn't matter if you're north, south, east, west, you'll see it.
Correct. I think the difference between last year, Ruler, and this year is that the lasers effectively faced south primarily. So it was very hard to see if you're in the north and northwest. But this year you'll be able to see them. They are going all different directions, and you will be able to see them if you're living in sort of, Coburg and Kensington and, anywhere north of the city, Brunswick. You'll be able to see these amazing.
That's amazing.
It's amazing. Yeah, it's a big night. 500,000 people are going to be in the city. I just encourage people who are listening, plan. Look on the City of Melbourne website. Basically, if you arrive in the city after 10:30, you will be sort of channeled because we have to close off certain areas for safety.
That's right.
It's a big safety thing that we have to do on New Year's Eve. So please be patient. Please be kind to everybody because
Trains will be running, but not the new loop. That's not going to
No.
be working. But the city loop will be working. The normal trains will be working. From 6:30 onwards, there will be the family-free activities because of the young children. And obviously later on in the night, it'll kick off for the oldies.
Correct. It's a lot of waiting around for 7 minutes of, flashes, fireworks and lasers. So do get into the city early, enjoy some of that incredible hospitality that we have in the city, the bars, the restaurants. Book in. A lot of people are taking bookings.
And
So
there's also on the beach, some of the beaches,
yes,
let's say, for example, Brighton Baths. If you're there,
Yeah.
you can actually see the city. So if you can't get into the city because there's so many people, support
Yeah.
the businesses where you've got a view of our city.
100%. I live in Camberwell, and I've been told, I haven't been there yet, but there's a place there like Anderson Park, which is sort of on the hill. You can see Camberwell sort of rises up from the city. Great viewing spot, and apparently quite a few hundred people get to Anderson Park. So maybe there'll be a few people more now that I've mentioned it on your radio program.
That's it. Now, Councillor Scott, we've gone through a huge heart moment, very sad moments, what happened at Bondi, and I did have Nick from Greek City Times talking about it.
Yep.
Now we're talking about a huge party, although there's going to be a lot of people that are mourning of what's happened.
Yep.
But I think the Australian people need something to deter our minds of what's currently happened in Australia that we never expect. Now,
Yes.
I know a lot of the listeners will be now also thinking, okay, how safe are we? Now, yes, the City of Melbourne has put on a lot of security. There's been, upgrades of security cameras. There's a lot of things happening. There's never going to be enough, and I don't know how anyone can say, is it enough?
Yeah.
But there will be people thinking, are we going to be safe?
Yes. Yeah, look, I mean, safety's been a priority for this council right from when we were elected last year, around about this time last year. Nick Rees, our Lord Mayor, has really been determined, and Councillor Camillo, who heads up this portfolio, have been really committed with the City of Melbourne team to really lift the safety presence in the city. And I think New Year's Eve is something we do really well. There's a lot of effort, time, resources, money goes into literally the safety of the community. So we really do everything we can. I mean, even to the point, you'll probably remember, Ruler, the Amyl and the Sniffers concert that we had down at Fed Square for the AC/DC moment. It did get...
That was out of control at one stage with the opening act.
Yeah, it got to the point where, primarily young guys just turned up late, couldn't get in. It was a shame because people had come from all over Melbourne, all over Victoria, in fact, planned their day, got to the event early, got their spot, and then these latecomers arrive and push down all the fences, try and get in, cause problems, and unfortunately then...
And ruined it for the rest of the people.
Correct. And if there's a crowd crush and people are injured and all that sort of stuff,
yeah,
it really is not worth that trouble. So the decision was made by Federation Square management to cancel the event, unfortunately. And look, it turned into something pretty well anyway. I think a lot of people dispersed into the bars. Amyl and the Sniffers put some money on some of the bars around the city. But yeah, look, going back to your point, safety is a priority. We can never predict or imagine the unimaginable that happened in Bondi over the weekend, but we do try and do everything we possibly can to make people feel safe and avoid any problems.
Thank you so, so much. Now, I was doing a little bit of research about you, but first I want to talk about RIPE.cheese. It won an award being the Business of the Year in 23.
Yes.
Amazing. I actually, my very closest best friend, who is like a sister to me, her husband, they'd moved to Warburton many years ago and met a local in Warburton that has a cheese shop, and he fell in love and he started making cheeses.
Yes.
And he made some remarkable cheeses. Now it's like, I need to hook him up with you because this is a local person that makes cheeses, and we get to eat them. And one of his daughters got married, and she said, Dad, I want you to make me a wedding cake cheese. so
Yes.
people can take cheese home. What
Oh,
a
yeah. That's a
great
big,
idea that is. You're a co-owner, co-founder,
yes.
and your partner, Hakim,
Yes. Very
yes,
good.
yes, he also won a businessman.
Yes, he's won a couple of awards.
Yes.
The business has won a few awards. Look, I think, just a quick sort of snapshot on the story of RIPE. We started in 2019.
I'm gonna stop you there for a second. I've got a small QR code up, but I'm just going to bring up the larger one,
Yep.
and so people can. There we go. They can screen
you.
that and go straight to RIPE.cheese on Instagram.
Thank you. So 2019, we actually bought a shop from a couple that had been at the market 40 years who were retiring, Bob and Cynthia Woods. It was an Aussie deli. And Hakim really, being from Singapore, international student, came to Melbourne, didn't know much about cheese and couldn't understand why at the market you really could only buy French cheese and European and international cheese. There wasn't much Australian cheese available at the market.
Yeah.
And, there's 12 cheese shops at Queen Victoria Market, and all of them primarily sold European cheese. So Hakim decided that he wanted to be a champion for Australian cheese, artisanal cheese. So I backed him. We went into it together. We opened RIPE.cheese 2019. COVID hit. So we had to sort of re-engineer everything a little bit for a couple of years. We did a lot of, home deliveries. We did masterclasses online with sort of bank clients and, delivered cheese all over Melbourne. Came out of COVID. We moved to a much bigger shop now at the Queen Victoria Market in the Dairy Hall, opposite the bakery. And then
opposite, is it the Little Greek Bakery?
I think they're Italian, the Kafers, Michael Kafer.
There was a Little Greek. Hang on, what year did you open the cheese place at the Queen?
We opened in 2019, and then we moved to the bigger shop in 2020.
Okay, no. This is going back many moons ago. I actually was working at a little market on a Saturday morning just for extra cash. This is going back, back in 2007 and 8, I think it was.
Right.
And when you said the little bakery, opposite the little bakery, I'm like, hang on a minute.
Yeah. No, big Greek community at the market, of course. We love those guys. I worked with, I learned everything I know from a Greek man called Thrasivoulos Papamanos.
There you go. Bravo.
He even taught me a few Greek words, but they can't be announced on your program at all. But anyway, so back to the story. Hakim really became a champion for Australian cheese. He's now a national cheese judge.
Is that amazing? Amazing? Just by decision, you just I'm going to do this. What's up to him?
And it's funny, if you want to sort of segue into council, it really got us on the attention, I guess, of the City of Melbourne. Hakim joined a few committees looking at how do we stimulate the day economy in Melbourne. And through that, I met Nick Rees and Rashina. And then when it came time to sort of put together a team to run for Team Rees' campaign, they actually spoke to Hakim first and asked him, but he's still a Singaporean citizen.
Oh, okay.
In Australia, if you are considering running for government, local, state or federal, you need to be an Australian citizen.
That's exactly right. You know what? You're a great choice for Team Rees.
Thank you.
And especially since COVID and a lot of businesses either closing down or losing a lot of money, for someone that's opened up a business, the challenges, and it's not like it was a business that it's been running for so many years. Hakim just came up with the idea and, hey, let's do it. And obviously, how it's done. And I think a lot of, from what I can recall, a lot of business through COVID, there were a lot of people that started to think outside of the box.
Yeah.
And actually took advantage of the situation being, during COVID. And then they were doing the takeaway runs. So they were still maintaining money. And there was one franchise that I won't mention, but they've got a lot of shops in Victoria. And one of the shops they actually opened during COVID. And it apparently was making more money than the ones that were opened prior
Well,
to COVID because of the new concept. Then you
yeah,
had other businesses said, okay, this is the product. I can't do this. What can I do to make, changes and make money? And then you had the other people that obviously didn't have a lot of support, didn't have financial support, didn't have creativity maybe,
yeah,
and they were closing down.
yeah,
So I think in moving forward, we still do have businesses that are screaming, oh, we need help, and you've got people that on social media that say that Melbourne is dying down. Well, Melbourne's not actually dying down because I go there some nights and it's chockers.
yes.
And yes, shops may be closing, but shops close in any suburb. It's not
Oh,
just in Melbourne. It
yeah,
just depends what it is, the period. You got your ups and downs.
yeah.
And I
But
think it's a great
yeah,
choice for you to be there to give that support to someone that says, hey, Scott, got any ideas? Because I'm kind of struggling at the moment.
yes. Yeah, look, COVID changed a lot, changed a lot of things in our society. First thing I want to say is both the Queen Victoria Market management and the City of Melbourne were really supportive of the market during COVID. Basically, none of the businesses, went broke or fell over during COVID. We had to stay open because we were a food environment. But, it was not a lot of people. So, you still got to pay staff and, buy stock and run a business. So, but the City of Melbourne and the Queen Victoria Market were great with rent relief that helped us through that period. But coming out of it, Ruler, I mean, things have changed dramatically. People are the work from home factor is the biggest single change in our generation. It just wasn't really the thing to do prior to COVID. You might have an employer that would allow you to maybe work from home on a Friday
Yeah.
if they were modern and progressive. But generally, people went to the office, and that was, largely in the city. These days, that has changed a lot. Mondays and Fridays, fortunately, we're not open on a Monday at the market, but Mondays and Fridays are really tough in the city. Thursdays have sort of become a pretty important day, but the daytime economy in the city is still really tough. Nighttime, you're right, has bounced back,
Yes.
but daytime is still pretty tough.
What do you think? Why do you think it's still tough?
Look, I mean, it's tough to operate a business, and essentially, what I keep trying to talk to the market and other people about is that, costs have gone up so dramatically in the last sort of 4 or 5 years. Your cost of staff keeps going up and up and up every year. Work cover has gone up and up and up.
Yep.
People who have bigger businesses now, payroll tax is a huge burden on small businesses in Melbourne and in Victoria. So you've got, the cost of product itself. Manufacturers had to keep their prices low during COVID and then had to regain that when COVID finished. So a lot of our prices of stock jumped up. Unfortunately, then the cost of living crisis has sort of hit us.
That's
and
right.
The market's a very competitive place where a lot of people are prepared to, let's say, sacrifice margin just to keep the register ticking over. So people don't put the prices up. So all of a sudden you've got less customers, more costs, and your cost of product goes up and you haven't been able to put the price up accordingly. Our rent goes up every year 4%. So things just keep going up. And that's really the challenge. And in many ways, that's why I wanted to run for council, because I really, in the last sort of 8 years that I've had a small business, I really understand how tough it is. Hospitality, there's so many people that say owning a coffee shop is like a passion or a love business. We don't own a coffee shop, but we're still in hospitality. But any sort of hospitality business is just really tough to try and make money, to try and survive. Most of the people that operate those businesses don't take much of a salary, if at all. If they're all working in a corporate job or in a tradie job or whatever, they'd be earning a hell of a lot more than running a coffee shop or a cheese shop or anything else. But I don't know, there's something that draws you to small business and in particular hospitality. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but it's that,
I think it's also the vibe of people and talking to people about food and this and that. It's a different vibe to going shopping for clothes or going to the pharmacy, as an example,
Correct.
or going to work in an office.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, selling food to people is a joy, right? Whether you're giving them coffee, whether you're giving them a cheese toastie like we do, or a truffle toastie in winter. We're very famous for our
Oh,
truffle
wow.
toasties. Yes, please come down June, July, August, and try one of Melbourne's most truffle toastie.
That's it, at RIPE.cheese. So it's RIPE.cheese.
Yes.
For those people, go on Instagram.
Yes, follow us tonight if you've just started tuning in. Follow us on Insta, and we're going to select somebody first thing in the morning and let you know you've won a $50 gift voucher. So you can come in and meet us, see us, and get some cheese.
Now, Scott.
Mark.
Sorry, Mark. I know, I just got confused. It's Mark Scott. I know,
Yes,
I don't know what Scott. Yeah, Councillor Scott. Okay, no, Councillor Mark. Mark. While doing some research on you, there was a bit of a blurb going, he's from the Burbs, BURBS. Look, I'm very ignorant to right now. What's the Burbs?
Well, I mean, you know, when you are a councillor in the City of Melbourne, you're in the city, right?
Oh, suburbs.
Suburbs.
Oh, so suburb. Oh,
yes,
that's a new way of saying it.
Bogan from the Burbs. There you go.
Bogan from the Burbs.
You can't get much Aussie than that.
Have you lived your whole life in Melbourne?
Yes, I have. I was born and bred. I was actually born at a hospital called Bethlehem, believe it or not.
Bethlehem. That's
Bethlehem.
in Tuyong Road, Caulfield.
That's right. It's now an aged care facility, so I can probably die there as well. You know, born and
I was
died.
going to say that, and I didn't want to because I have lost a friend there.
That's okay. That's life. But yes, in Kooyong. But anyway, we lived out in Mulgrave. So I was born and raised in outer suburbs of Mulgrave. Went to Wellington Primary School, which doesn't exist now. It's now housing, estate. I went to Mazenod College, which
wow,
Catholic boys' school, which does still exist, and I'm still in touch with the guys out at the priests and everybody out at Mazenod. Hello, if anyone's listening, any old collegians. So I had a great sort of upbringing out there. I was an only child. My parents were very working class. My dad worked in a factory out in Rowville. My mum worked at KFC, England Waverley, and then ended up working.
It's such a great story to hear that. Rather than hearing, my parents were corporate people or were rich or whatever, and hence this door opened for me. No. You've come from a very humble home and you've made a success of your life. And they're the great stories. And, your parents and my parents, and they look up to us and say, wow, look, this is our child.
They were the sacrificial generation, I call it. They really did, sacrifice their lives. My dad left school at 14, and all he really wanted, my mum and dad got married at like 18 and 21. They just wanted a better life than they had for their kids. Unfortunately, mum could only have one kid. I was a troubled cesarean birth, and mum got turned off by any more babies.
Oh,
so that was it. They were stuck with me. After me, they broke the mold, I guess. But yeah, it was certainly not a privileged upbringing from that perspective. I studied marketing and went into corporate.
What were highlights when you look back at your corporate life and everything you've done to date?
Yeah, look, every marketer back then in the 80s, I guess, wanted to work for places like Cadbury Schweppes. I did work there. I worked on Evian, the spring water brand, Schweppes Lemonade. So that was really fun. But then I managed to get into the Walt Disney Company. And I have to tell you, I spent 12 years with Disney. And every time I'd go out to a function or party or whatever and say I work for Disney, they'd be like, oh, my God, really? You work at the parks, Disneyland Park? I'm like, no. What do you do? I'm like, well, I work in the consumer products area. We sell all those toys and clothes and all that sort of stuff. So I joined at the time when Lion King came out. And I remember going to my very first Disney event, and it was the first ever showing in Australia of Lion King. Yep. And it's still my favorite movie. It blows me away. It was just such a great movie. And I thought to myself, oh my God, how lucky am I to be working for a company like this? I had a great career. I went overseas for a couple of years to LA with my family. We had a baby over there, born right opposite the Walt Disney Studios, my daughter. And then I spent a couple of years in London working for Disney in their publishing area. So I think, that was really the highlight for me in my corporate career, working for Disney. But, everything comes to an end at some point. You've got to move on. And it was time for me to do something different. I ended up at Mattel working with Barbie and Hot Wheels and Thomas.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes, before the Barbie movie came out, unfortunately. I would have loved to have been around then. But, so that was fun. And then I sort of made my way to actually running marketing at the Queen Vic Market. And it was that was really fun as well. We did a lot of great things with the summer night market. And then I ended up buying a business at the Queen Vic Market. I love the place so much. I bought a business there. So that's how I ended up selling cheese and becoming a councillor in 100 words or less.
Yeah. Now, Mark, you did say to me I can ask you some personal questions.
Sure.
So 11 years ago, you came out and you said, I'm gay to your friends. Did that change things? Did it change your relationships?
Well, yes. Look, it's one of those things people ask me, did you know, look, I was born in 66. So when I was 18 years of age, 17, 18 years of age, I did kind of have, a suspicion. But, early 80s, it was the time of the AIDS virus. There was a lot of discrimination against gay people, scare tactics, TV campaigns. It was a really, people were being bashed and beaten and arrested. And it was just one of those things that's like, I'm not sure I want this for my life. Yeah. I want a normal life. Yeah. So I guess you sort of reorient yourself. And I, started dating girls, met a girl who became my wife of 21 years, traveled around the world with me. We had a great marriage. We had 2 beautiful daughters. And then, 22 years in, I just thought, you know what? I can't keep denying who I am. And
things had changed as well in moving forward after all those years. We've become such an inclusive, diverse country. We're very respectful and mindful of people's choices. And I think that's really good of what Australia does.
Yes,
especially
absolutely.
For the mental health of men, especially.
100%. And, I guess the challenge then is that I'd spent 45 years defining myself as a sort of straight white man. To then take the decision, which was the toughest decision I've ever made in my life, but the best one, to walk home one night or, go home one night and tell my wife, who was the first person I told, of course, that I just can't continue this. And then telling my daughters and then telling my mum, and my dad had already passed away, but had to tell my mum. And you know what? I'll never forget to this day, Rula, my mum said to me, she said, Mark, I don't care who you are or what you are, you're still my son, and I'll love you. And I thought, you know what? For someone I didn't expect to say that was the best thing she could have said. Bless her soul, rest in peace, my mum Wilma. So anyway.
You're a wonderful human being.
Yes. 11 years later, I have a great relationship with my wife, my ex-wife, my kids. One's in London, one's in Sydney. I met and married my business partner, who wasn't at the time, but I met and married a young man from Singapore, a little bit younger than me, but the love of this life.
That's right.
And we've built a really successful business together. We're best friends, and
it's a very beautiful, inspiring story, because even people that don't come out to say I'm gay and they're just living this, as you said, ordinary, normal life, whatever that's going to be, they don't have those successful stories. Let alone the love and support that you've created. You've got couples that separate and, 11 years later, they still can't be in the same room with an ex-partner when you've got children. And, your story is so beautiful and inspiring. And this is what we need to look at, especially here in Australia, because we are a very unique country and we do support one another. And I think people just need to be a bit more open-minded and, let's create love and instead of hate, because, what's just happened.
Yeah,
It's a
100%.
real eye opener for everybody.
100%. And, I really try to champion inclusion and diversity in our city of Melbourne and across the broader community. But, the stories, everyone has a story, everyone has a journey. I don't try and tell everybody coming out is the thing that you've got to do. You really have to navigate your own circumstances.
That's right.
And do it at your own time and in your own way. And all I can say is, for me, carrying the weight of, your own shame or your own secrets for so long, when you do decide to just be honest and live an authentic life, it is the best thing that you can ever do. And the freedom that comes with that is just indescribable.
Wow, what a powerful message you just given out.
Thank you. Yes.
I just want to thank you so much for opening up and, and sharing all that with us. People need to hear it. They do.
Yeah.
Let's just change a little bit of the pace now, going back to being councillor and the love of Melbourne that you have. So if you could spend a day showcasing Melbourne to visitors, what would be one of the must-see lists aside of the ACDC laneway?
Look,
you know what? I'm going to interrupt you. Were you with me and Nick Rees, our Lord Mayor, when he showed us the original ACDC artwork on the wall, or did you leave?
I think I might have left by then. Yes.
You had left because Nick turned around and goes, "Where have they gone? Where have they gone?" And he goes, "Just follow me." And we sort of went around, which I'm not going to say where. And we found the original artwork.
Oh, wow.
And I said to Nick, why haven't you put something to protect it? And it's like, can't, because then it's like, it's there. And then you got vandals.
Yes.
You missed that one. Or you're going to have to ask him where that is. Yeah.
I'll have to get Lord Mayor to give me another guided tour.
Another guided tour, that's it. So outside of ACDC Lane, what are the must-see places?
Look, I think, it's hard to pick a single place. I think the laneways, our coffee, the day in Melbourne has to start with a coffee. Magic, of course, Melbourne magic. Or if you're traditional like me, just a latte, strong latte with one sugar is my go-to. And we do just, by the way, have a little coffee shop up at Collins Place. It's our other business.
Awesome. So where's that?
If you're up the top of Collins Street, head to Golden Coffee Bar at Collins Place. And,
so it's not just at the market, RIPE.cheese.
We just got into
sell your cheeses there too?
No, only coffee and toasted sandwiches.
Wow, totally. Wow.
Oh, it's a totally different. It's called Golden. So anyway, we won't talk about that. Have a pastry in a laneway in Melbourne. My favourite laneways are those ones, between like the Flinders Street Station and Burke Street Mall, all those little
they're gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. Laneways.
Fantastic. Grab a coffee, and then probably, it would be remiss of me to say you do need to visit Queen Victoria Market. I had some people today say to me, we get people from all over Australia, all over the world. These people were from Panama. They said, there's just nothing like this dairy hall, this heritage building and place anywhere in the world. There's nothing like it in America, nothing like it in Australia. It's quite special. And of course, the go-to products there, the Borek is
the fresh produce.
Bratwurst shop is great. Our cheese toasties, of course, and of course the hot jam donuts.
Yeah.
Get a hot jam donut at the Queen Victoria Market.
And the live music.
That is a Melbourne institution. I then think I have to confess I haven't been yet, but I've heard it's awesome. The new Birrarung Bar along the Yarra, the new Green Line project, which is just along the Yarra there. Look it up. It's just been opened, I think, on Sunday. So I'm looking forward to. Actually, I'm going into the city tomorrow, so I will be trying to do a little walk down Flinders Street and get onto the Green Line. So walking along the Birrarung there is beautiful. My favourite gardens in Melbourne, I think Royal Botanic Gardens is beautiful, but there's something to me about Fitzroy Gardens. I just love Fitzroy Gardens. Those huge trees, beautiful sort of landscape, and of course the incredible restaurant. Finish the Melbourne Day if you can get a table at that incredible new restaurant from View de Mon. Yaga. It's called Yaga, which has just opened at Fitzroy Gardens, and it's
Wow.
unbelievable. Will become probably the best restaurant in Australia.
You did tell me the other day, hey, let's catch up for a chat
Yes.
over a coffee in Melbourne.
Yeah.
And obviously you didn't know that I'm coming from the Peninsula way. But I'm going to hold you to that. I'll meet you in your cafe. I'll come to your coffee
Yeah,
shop.
we'll meet at Collins Place.
That's it. We'll meet there.
Have a golden coffee.
Tell me, over the next 4 years, vision for us, Melbourne's tourism and events, what are we going to see?
Well, I think for me, I just want to make Melbourne a must-visit city. When it comes to sort of visitors, whether you're coming from international, interstate, or regional Victoria, I just want people to think you've got to go to Melbourne. It's just the best city. Like Sydney, of course, had their harbour bridges and all of that. But
I love our Melbourne city.
There's something.
Yes, they've got their harbour, they've got the Opera House, and they've got the beautiful bridge. But we've got so much beauty in Melbourne.
Yes.
And look, and the facts still remain. We've got better roads, if you can't get lost, and if you do make a wrong turn, you can get out very easily. If you make a wrong turn in Sydney, you're going to end up in Manly.
Exactly. Nick often says, the Lord Mayor often says at his press conferences, Melbourne is the events capital of the world. And it really is.
Yes.
My portfolio is tourism and events. And I just feel like this year has just been so fast paced. The first part of the year, I felt like I was going to something every other day. We've got all of those big events. We've got the smaller events. And we've got just so many life experiences as well. Just wandering around, as I say, having a hot jam donut at the Queen Vic Market, or just enjoying what that hidden, people call it that indescribable vibe, of Melbourne. But anyway, you asked me over the next 4 years. I think, the one thing that I have to say to you, Ruler, having joined council in the last year, the team at the City of Melbourne, the people that actually do the work, not people like me who just make the decisions, but the people that do the work are so talented, so professional, and just such a pleasure to work with. So the person that heads up our events area, Wesley Portelli, brilliant guy. So he and his team do Moomba and Christmas in the city, New Year's Eve, of course. But our two big events have to be Melbourne Fashion Week, which was awesome.
Yeah.
That'll just continue to get bigger and better, and really supports Melbourne's, second most favourite thing to do after having a coffee and enjoying our hospitality is shopping. All those little laneways that we talked about, not only have cafes, but have incredible little fashion boutiques.
That's
and
right.
great little shops that you should just wander and discover. Every little lane, side street I walk down, there's another amazing tailor or, shoe shop or bag shop or something there. Designer, of course. So Melbourne Fashion Week's awesome. And Now or Never was something that I have to confess before going on council. I had never been to the Now or Never festival. It's only been a couple of years. And this year, Elise Perrone, who runs the Now or Never festival for us, and by the way, won a national event award as the best event in Australia. That was extraordinary this year. When they said to me, Ruler, we're going to put a huge inflatable garbage bag, essentially, like a membrane inside the Royal Exhibition buildings, and people are just going to come in and sit. I thought, oh, that's interesting. But it was one of the most fun things I did this year.
Wow.
They did yoga classes, they did all these things, but the peace and quiet and that feeling of sort of enclosure for the event we held up at Royal Exhibition Buildings, Matria was called, Matria, a Spanish creative artist who came out to Australia, and it was built literally from Melbourne made plastic garbage bags, and when it was
Wow.
finished, it was all taken down and recycled into probably shopping bags or something like that.
Isn't that
So
amazing?
incredible. We had an amazing thing at Melbourne Town Hall where we had a dinner with this floating thing that went above our heads. That was amazing. So now or never is just going to continue to get bigger and better.
Now, you do know the Antipodes Festival, which is the biggest in the Southern Hemisphere, and it is a
Yes.
Tier 1 festival run by the Greek Centre.
It is. It's
City of
great.
Melbourne.
I went last year.
Did you? Did you
yes.
see me on stage?
Of course.
Because I MC all those stages.
Along with a lot of politicians.
Did you go upstairs to the cocktail party?
I did. I was there.
Oh, I didn't see you there because
Yes.
last year I paid for my partner came and I paid for my parents because they've never done the Antipodes Festival, and I brought them in. I said, no, you're going to come and you're going to go upstairs and you're going to get on the famous balcony of the Greek Centre and have that overview of the whole festival.
Yeah.
And my mother got to meet Jacinta Allen. I met her personally through our minister, Steve Demopoulos, behind the main stage. And then I saw our Premier, Jacinta Allen, up at the cocktail party. And I said to her, Jacinta, do you mind just saying hello to my mum? Because she absolutely adores you. And she turned around and she hugs my mum and she literally gave her quality time. And I thought, how wonderful is that for someone at her level, so busy, people pulling her left, right and centre, and yet she spent that quality time with my mum. And my mum, even today, can't stop saying, she hugged me and said, I wish you were my mother. You know, it was really nice. I didn't see you. I do apologise. My father, I introduced him to our Lord Mayor, Nick Rees. Because my parents saw me interviewing him when he was running and this and that and the other. And it's nice when you meet them in person, face to face, you know. So, and now obviously when I get called.
As you know, the Lord Mayor loves the Greek community so much. He married one of them.
Yes, he did.
Felicity, his beautiful wife, is of Greek heritage. And so we love the Antipodes Festival. It's really good. It's a City of Melbourne sponsored event. We're very supportive of that precinct. One of the precincts that we support is the Lonsdale Street, the Greek precinct.
Which is getting bigger. And
yes,
I'm hearing there's going to be a massive cake shop opening up.
Good. That's what we want. My favorite.
I'm trying to squeeze the information out. I'll get it at some point.
You'll have to correct my pronunciation, but my favorite dessert of all time is galaktobureko.
Galaktobureko. Well, I can tell you, I make the best.
Oh, good. Best. All right. Well, when you come for coffee, you've got to bring me some.
Done. I will bring you the galaktobureko. Julie Fisher, she does a very amazing show here with disabilities. And Julie said, I'm coming for coffee too. So, Julie, maybe we'll tee up together and I'll make a galaktobureko and we'll go together in town and visit this unbelievable coffee shop. Yes. And Alex says, yes, I'm coming too. And Tony's saying, yep, they're all
coming. Beautiful.
So guys, don't forget to those that are listening in to get onto Instagram and follow RIPE.cheese. So it's the yellow square box with the black writing RIPE, and follow. Send a little message because someone's going to win a $50 voucher tomorrow morning. Those that are on those that are following on LinkedIn. They shut TikTok down while I was having a conversation with Greek City Times. It might have been because of the conversation we're having. So from Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube, you can basically see the QR code. So get onto the QR code and that'll take you straight to Instagram. Julie says, sounds great. Darcy can come too. Yes. Darcy is Julie's son. He's got Down syndrome, but he's just an amazing human being. I love Darcy. Yes, we'll take Darcy. And someone just put a Facebook share. Okay. I'm not sure what that is, but Nikki, is it Nikki? Nikki Lim? Mick Lim? Okay. Yeah.
Very good. All right. So you mentioned the festival, the Antipodes Festival. I was going to say also, in addition to the things that City of Melbourne do, there's so many things that happen in our city I really hope people connect with all of these things. Midsummer's coming up for the gay community in January. We just come off the Melbourne International Queer Film Festival, which was awesome. We've got Comedy Festival this year, 30th anniversary of the Comedy Festival coming up early in the year, like February, March. That festival does so much for our city because it's so long. It's like 3 or 4 weeks, and everyone comes into the city, and the shows are only usually like an hour. So you've got plenty of time before or after a show to come in and have a drink or a meal or something. So love the Comedy Festival. Awesome 30 years.
I do get emails from the Comedy Festival for people if they want to attend for free.
Yes.
I get them on a yearly. Yeah, and then we've got the film festivals.
Yes. Jazz Festival.
Jazz Festival.
The Melbourne Jazz Festival is seriously one of the best jazz festivals in the world. And, it's something that, I just hope the organisers, great team, continue to take that. We had Harry Connick Jr., come out this year for the Melbourne International Jazz Festival. So that was awesome. Melbourne Food and Wine, of course.
Yes.
Coming up, which is always fantastic. And, we just need to find another little spot, I reckon, June, for a winter City of Melbourne event.
Yeah,
festival.
that would be good, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Some people have talked about a sort of winter solstice. I think could be something the Lord Mayor wanted to pursue with lights and, kind of like Vivid, but better that they do up in Sydney. I'm sort of thinking, of course, my background is food, produce. And I have to say, Ruler, that what we do in regional Victoria in terms of the amount of cheesemakers that we have in Victoria who are just extraordinary, like seriously world class. We have a guy down in Fish Creek, Barry Charlton. Hi, Barry, because I know your show goes to Gippsland. Down in Fish Creek, he won the best artisanal cheesemaker in the world.
Wow.
World Cheese Awards a couple of years ago for his blue cheeses.
Wow.
So, the sort of talent we have in the region, winemakers, olive oil producers, truffle growers, like we know all these people, and they're just charcuterie guys. We've got a guy, a German Fleischmeister, which is like a master butcher up in Castlemaine called Ralph, who is just one of the best, charcuterie people in Australia, if not the world. He's awesome. Yeah, Long Paddock cheese up in Castlemaine, have a cheese school. So there's just so much going on in the regions. And I think it'd be great to bring all of that to Melbourne. Imagine all of that coming to Melbourne, only Victorian, producers over, say, a 3 or 4 week period, come into the town hall, meet all these incredible people. I just think...
Yeah, unfortunately, we can't do the outdoor because of our weather, but we've got spaces that we can do it.
We have. I
and
mean,
they can showcase their little businesses, and then people can go and visit their businesses in the regional area because, let's face it, Victoria is a beautiful state. We've got so much great things to visit. And
Well, Melbourne Town Hall is an incredible venue, and now right opposite Town Hall Station, so everyone can get to it. And, the people of Melbourne own it. It's the City of Melbourne.
Alex is saying, hey, Scott. It's actually, hey, Mark. Oh, that was my fault.
Right.
Alex, he says, did you see my performance from the Fringe Festival? So Alex has got a disability and he founded Fusion Theatre.
Okay.
Fusion Theatre is a platform for people with disabilities, any type of disability, that enjoy the arts and performances. And I actually got to see one of the Weathering, which was one of their theatre productions. And I've got to say it was spectacular. Yeah. Absolutely amazing. Yeah. And which another thing, Melbourne is also known for theatre productions as well.
Yes.
From university students to actors and actresses to people with disabilities, as we have from the Fringe Festival.
Yes. I didn't get to Alex's performance. I will look out for it at the next festival. I met with Simon Abrahams from Fringe this week. What a wonderful guy. Very talented and puts on an amazing festival. Really, really good. He's about to go on paternity leave for the next year, but he has a great team under him who are going to make sure Fringe is another incredible year ahead for, really showcasing, as you say, people like Alex, these emerging artists, people with disabilities. That speaks to the inclusivity of the City of Melbourne.
That is so good. That is so good. You know what? We've literally got 6 minutes left before the end of the show.
Oh my God, it's gone so quick.
It does, because we're talking about Melbourne and everything goes on in Melbourne. And yeah, you know what? Thank you so, so much. It was a pleasure to have you on the show.
No worries. I hope people are noticing. I just want to, say one thing, and I hope you've noticed. You spend a lot of time walking around the city. We are really, really trying. We cop a lot from the media and from just people generally about safety and cleanliness in the city. We spend so much money, so much time, so much resources to really try to react quickly to graffiti where we need to. The police monument was graffitied the other day. Our team were down there within, a very short period of time and got rid of all that.
I'm glad you said that. You know why? Because last year I went overseas, or this year? I've lost track of time. It was actually this year. I was in France and I spent a couple of days in Republica.
Yes.
And the square there has got a massive monument, and it was really sad to see the graffiti. It was really sad. And I said to my partner, I love France so much, but I don't never want to go back to Republica.
Yeah.
Because a lot of things do happen there, and the graffiti, and it's like, why do people do that?
Yeah, we went to Berlin a few years ago, and I just thought that was a terrible place. It was dirty, filthy, dilapidated buildings everywhere, and this was pre-COVID. But anyway, we've got a great team. Vince Macalino at the City of Melbourne is awesome and is really trying to clean up the city. What I'd say to people who are listening is, if you see something, whether it's graffiti, whether it's a full rubbish bin, or just, something looking untidy or unkept, please just call the City of Melbourne. I'm
just putting up a sponsorship while you're speaking because we are running out of time.
Yeah, sure.
That's okay. You keep talking.
So just get in touch with us. Report it. There's QR codes on the bins. We really want to respond to that as a priority. Nick has put these community safety officers on the ground. I walked up and down all the businesses on Elizabeth Street between Flinders and Burke the other day, and people said those officers are really making a huge difference to the amenity of that area. We're trying. We're really working hard. It's not going to be easy. As you know, Ruler, it's a complex problem.
It is, and we all have to play a part. We also need to be responsible for ourselves where we drop rubbish. We can't expect someone to be behind us cleaning it up.
Have you been
on that note, Mark,
yes.
I've literally got 4 minutes to close.
Okay, you close.
But you can stay on here and we'll wave, and you can be part of my goodbyes. Do you want to do that?
Yeah, sure. And I'll come back on next year. We'll talk more.
Oh, that'll be so good. Okay, stay on while we close the show and we play our closing song. And I really would like to thank you as well. So let me just go on to, I'm just going to close your mic, put you down, and... So I want to say a huge thank you to Nick from Greek City Times and also to Councillor Mark Scott. And don't forget to follow RIPE.cheese, and tomorrow someone lucky will win a $50 voucher. I'd like to thank Mark and Nick for coming on to the show at RPP FM, the KK Factor, the Greek Eurobeat show. Follow me as you have been. You've been with Rula Krikalis, Aka Rula KK. Please follow me on all social platforms. Private message me for any topics you'd like me to cover, and catch you next week. Same time, same station, RPP FM, your Peninsula Community Radio station. Good night, Georgie. Good night, Alex. Good night, Kostaki. Good night, Tony. Good Good night, Julie. Good night to everyone that joined into the live chat. Good night to everybody on Instagram. Good night to everybody from the TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn.
It's up to me if I come back for more. Everything you like me to do.
Bye, Mark.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.